Right, we are going. Um,
Hello.
right, so first, what what do you like to be called on here? You could say your name or just like a code name or something.
Call me C. Everyone calls me C.
C, just like I'm just gonna put C.
Yep, C. Just like that.
Awesome,
Capital, lowercase, you do you,
cool,
whatever.
dude. And so, what do you like? What are you up to these days?
I like to rap. I like my Giants.
Oh my God, dude, I'm a Ravens fan, dude.
Oh, you lucky son of a bitch.
I know we're getting good seasons these years.
Yeah, so I have hold on, let me pull it up. Do you play fantasy football?
Don't. No, I should though.
No. Yeah, you should. With your team, you should, because there's a lot of times when people play fantasy football, like their first year or two, they like pick people from their team. And I did that my first year, and I did terrible because
You
the
probably
Giants,
had the Brown. Oh, that's right, the Giants.
yeah, Giants are terrible. So like you learn quick, like it's not good to like draft people from your team. But if you're a Ravens fan, you can get this guy
That's my man.
as your starting quarterback, and you
Uh,
will dominate.
oh
Like
yeah. So
you will
wait, so
dominate.
do you have Lamar on your team?
Yeah, Lamar's on my team.
All right, that's my man.
He's my first round pick. And usually it goes like running backs always go in the first round because they usually put up the most points, but not in Lamar Jackson's case because Lamar Jackson's literally a running back and a quarterback.
Well, was he put on like the Madden cover last year
Yeah, no,
because MVP? Oh, this
this
year.
year, yeah.
So like, do you believe in the Madden curse?
I don't want to. I really don't want to.
Yeah.
Um, but kind of yes.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I mean, I think he'll be fine for the first 4 weeks, and then he'll like break both legs,
Yeah.
or something.
Well, Patrick Mahomes was it last year, and he's been solid this year. So
Hmm.
I really hope not. I just want to see everyone healthy because I mean, the man curse isn't always an injury, but a lot of the times it is. Sometimes it's just you don't perform at the level you're expected to. But so far, Patrick Mahomes could break the curse, and if he breaks the curse, that could follow to Lamar breaking the curse and it being over.
Yeah, I
But
like that. I like that way of thinking. That's a positive way of thinking.
yeah, yeah, because at the end of the day, I just want to see good football, like I'm sure everybody does.
Yeah. Well, so do you think the Giants will end up? What was their record last year?
Pretty sure we had the worst record in the league last year. I stopped
Uh,
watching after like week 8, to be
oh,
honest.
yeah, I feel you.
Um,
I feel
Let
you.
me see, Giants 2019
My bet
record.
is that it was like 3-13. That's my bet.
So close. So close. It's 4-12.
Wow.
Damn. We had you by one game. Yeah,
I
no. But wait, we weren't the worst in our conference though. The Redskins were 3-13. Or my bad. The Washington football team was 3 and
And I
13.
think the Bengals were probably 3-13 too, right? Because they got.
Yeah. Bengals got the first pick. So they had to be really bad.
You know what? I was just watching this video on YouTube. Like what was the best football game that no one watched, and it was like in 2010 or something. McNabb was still in it, and it was the it
Oh,
was the
nice.
Redskins and the Eagles, and they were both like 1-9 or something. So
They
no one
always have
watched it.
battles.
Yeah, and it was like this 40, like four, each team had like 40 points. There was
Jesus.
no defense. It was just like back and it
Wow.
was like insane. Yeah, it was cool. You should check that out on
Is
YouTube.
it that YouTuber who does like all the like statistics and the graphics on the screen? Like,
It was just like one of those highlight reel
okay,
YouTubes. It had
with
like
some of the commentary.
800,000 exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
It was
Nice.
great. It was like Mike Shanahan's Redskins and like
Nice.
Shanahan just looked like just mortified. It was
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. If I was ever gonna switch teams from the Giants, it would definitely be to the Ravens,
all right.
strictly for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson. I honestly like. I almost like didn't even watch football last year because I was like getting so sick of it. Like my team is never good. There wasn't too much going on in the league. besides like Patrick Mahomes. And then Lamar Jackson comes out, starts throwing 5 touchdowns, rushing for touchdowns like each game, and I'm like, whoa, this like you look at like past players, like the most drawn comparison to Lamar Jackson is obviously Michael Vick.
Exactly.
But like if you really break it down, they don't even really play like each other. Like
Hmm.
they don't. Like
Could you
Lamar
explain that?
Jackson,
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson like plays like nobody else. Like a lot of times Mike Vick like would already have a play drawn up for him to run the ball. Lamar Jackson's just like quick decisions. Like, don't see anybody open, pockets closing, I'm out. And I can't beat anybody on foot. And he knows it and he takes advantage of it. And it's so exciting to watch. Because, like, anytime you see the pocket closing and it should be a sack, it's probably Lamar Jackson picking up a few yards at least, which is just like,
Yeah,
that's
crazy. Like,
not
how do you contain that, you know?
exactly. That's not like how people learn to play football. People learn to play football and they're like
Their
get to the
set way.
quarterback. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Hmm.
get to the quarterback, and once you get to the quarterback, you're gonna sack him because most quarterbacks aren't fit for
Running
like
like that. Yeah, totally.
yeah. After like I'd say in college, there's a lot more, but like a lot more mobile quarterbacks, but it never like really translates to the NFL like they expected to.
So
Like,
what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen to Burrow? Do you think he's going to end up being good or
um, looks promising, but I was never really sold on Burrow because like there's always those stories of like the Heisman winner quarterbacks
hmm
doing all this. Like
Brady
they
Quinn?
want
Exactly.
Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield. Like Johnny Manziel was garbage when he got into the league. Baker Mayfield's kind of making a name for himself, but not what anybody thought he was going to be. People thought he was the next big thing. Joe Burrow, I think, is going to be somewhere in between, like somewhere in between Baker Mayfield. I'd say Baker Mayfield is his floor, and his ceiling would probably be like Ben Roethlisberger. I'm not saying like and like
That's
obviously
fair.
the top comparison isn't there, but
Well, what's interesting, right, is like you look at someone like Ben Roethlisberger, who I mean, he wasn't like a first round pick. I don't think.
no, I don't think he
You
was.
know, like him, like Carson Palmer. I mean, Tom
Um,
Brady was picked in the sixth round.
yeah, like
Um, who else was really good? Well, I mean, Peyton Manning was like the first round first pick, so
yeah,
he's like an exception.
he's got 2 rings to show for it too.
Yeah. Do you think like Tom Brady coming down to Tampa, like, do you think that was a good choice?
Honestly, I if you have, and I know him and Belichick weren't on great terms like recently, but if you have a coach like Bill Belichick and a defense that's consistently good, like the Patriots team is, I have no idea why you would want to leave. I'm happy he did. I fucking hate the Patriots.
You know, he's
I'm sorry.
probably
I
doing.
don't
No,
swear,
no, no.
but
That's fine. Yeah, you can just say what you want. Um,
yeah, I don't understand why he would do that. Like, yes, the offense is more star-studded in Tampa Bay. I mean, you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Those
yeah.
are
He's got Gronk
one
now.
two, 1-2 punch. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gronk, Leonard Fournette. Now it's looking pretty good in Tampa, but their defense isn't. It has much to be desired.
I
Which
think
is
like
it, like yes,
right,
really good offense, but as a quarterback, you need a defense to. I mean, you want to get back on the field basically,
totally.
but
Yeah, I think that I
it's
think like
tough.
Brady has been with the Patriots his whole life, and I think like first I think that he wasn't gonna get enough money out of the Patriots, and he knows his worth, so I think that that was part of it.
Okay,
I think like
I see.
another part is like if like he knows his own worth and so he wants to like kind of prove himself in another atmosphere to show that it wasn't just all Belichick, like maybe like he's
Yeah,
proven something to himself, that like he can
yeah,
do really
like
well even
like his
without.
first legacy. Like if he wins another ring, personally, to me, Tom Brady is not the best quarterback to ever play the game. But that being said, if he does win a championship without Belichick, I think he is. And
Exactly.
that's coming. I do not like Tom Brady. He's my least favorite player
Well, he
ever.
did. He did. Yeah, I guess. Well, I no, actually, you guys fucked him up twice, right? Because they went to the
Yep.
Super Bowl what, like 7 times, and you were the only team that defeated him twice in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm pretty sure he's gone 9 times now because he's won
Fuck.
six,
He's
right?
won six. Wow.
And he's gone against the Giants twice and lost, and he also lost against the Eagles. So wow, holy shit, nine
Could you
times.
imagine? Can you imagine that?
Like that's most people haven't like a majority of NFL players now haven't been to the playoffs 9 times, let alone the Super Bowl. Like that's just unheard of. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's crazy. So, like, what got you into football? What's the story behind that? Your family into it?
My uncle,
Cool.
um, my mom never really watched anything. Didn't know my dad growing up, but my uncle, um, him and I watched a Giants Jets game probably when I was like 10,
Yeah.
8 around there, 8 or 10 around there. And then my neighbor across the street, he um he unfortunately wasn't able to have any children, so like him and I spent a lot of time together. Like we had a good bond. So one day, like for work, he just got Giants tickets, and we went to see the Giants play the Cowboys. That's when I really fell in love. Like when I saw Eli
That
Manning and
rivalry. Yeah.
yeah, when I saw Eli Manning throw like a 40-yard bomb to Victor Cruz, and I was like, oh, like it was like a kid on Christmas morning, just like woo, it was awesome. And the Giants ended up losing to the Cowgirls, but I was still hooked. I was hooked since then, and yeah, I'm actually a bigger basketball fan though.
Oh, okay. I don't really know basketball too well, but I would love to hear. Are you a Nets fan or
Nope.
who's a Nets fan?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, there's
This,
probably going to be a lot more Nets fans popping up now though, because I don't know if you know who Kevin Durant is.
oh, did he go to the Nets?
Yeah,
Wow.
and Kyrie Irving.
Wow. Now, what team was Irving on before? Was he?
He was on the Celtics, which is my favorite team.
Oh, that's one of my best friend's favorite teams is the Celtics.
Yeah,
Right? They're still in it now, aren't they?
are hanging on by a thread.
What's going on? Is it the Nuggets and the Celtics?
No, the Nuggets are playing the Lakers.
Oh, okay. They're
Um,
West. That's right.
Here, I'll show you the bracket. I have it on my
So,
phone.
well, let's see if I can remember. So, like the Nuggets and the Lakers are West, and then Celtics and not the Clippers, right?
Nope, they're also West.
The
They're
Heat,
LA.
right? Oh, it's the Celtics and the Heat.
Yep, yes, sir.
Wow,
It's 3-1 right now.
that's a
Uh,
surprise. That's a big surprise.
this is inaccurate. Both of them are. It's 3-1 for the Celtics. I don't know if you could see that.
Barely. And what's going on with the Nuggets and Lakers?
Nuggets and Lakers is 3-1, and Heat and Celtics are 3-1.
Wait, so are the Lakers up three?
Yep, Lakers are up 3, Heat are up 3.
Fuck. God damn it. LeBron James,
Yeah.
dude. That guy.
What's your if you had to pick?
Say that again?
What's your team if you had to pick?
Probably Celtics. Oh, but you know what? I like the Bucks actually. I do like the Bucks. I like
Okay.
how that guy plays on there on
Giannis.
yeah, Giannis.
Yeah,
Um
hold on, I got you. I got you. I'm a
but
fake fan for this.
but yeah, I don't really watch too much. Yeah. Let's see. So you're living in New York right now, right?
Connecticut.
Connecticut. Oh, okay, cool. And
Yeah.
what is that like up there?
Terrible. Pretty awful. It's pretty awful. Taxes are too damn high. Um, it's just really expensive. If you're not rich, it's not a good place to live.
Mm.
I'll
Do
say
you
that much.
do you want to leave?
Yes, very, very badly. Um,
Are you
if I
like in
had to
a?
pick,
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, go for it. I was just gonna ask that.
oh, if I had to pick, I would probably like. So if we're talking within the states, top three would probably be like New Orleans because it's just like such a like musical city. I love music. It's just like so pure. Um, Most people would say like LA, but I'd rather go to like San Francisco rather than LA because I don't know, LA I feel like is kind of touristy and also just a bunch of rich people. San
Mm,
Francisco, well, San Francisco's really like that too.
yeah.
Somewhere in California.
I feel
Um,
that. I feel
and
that.
then yeah, and I hate the cold, so this is kind of a hot take, but or a cold take. Alaska. I want to go to Alaska because the scenery there is just unmatched, just beautiful. And
Yeah.
I've only ever been down the East Coast, up and down the East Coast. I've never like been anywhere else.
Oh,
I vacation in North Carolina every year, so maybe there.
oh, like, did you go to Do you go to like
What's up?
in North Carolina? Um, like Western North Carolina is like the Blue Ridge Mountains. I forget what there's a
Okay,
Asheville. Have you ever been to Asheville?
I have not. We go to the Outer Banks,
Okay. Is that
Kitty
like
Hawk.
is that like
I killed
the
it.
is that the beach?
Yeah, that's the most eastern side. I'm pretty sure. It's like it's like a strip of land. It's like it's a peninsula. I'm pretty sure, or it might technically be an island, but it's like a very long, thin strip of land. Like
Yeah.
if you go to like the highest point, you can see either side of the ocean. Like you, or I think it's a bay because it's in between the mainland and. But it's really nice. There's a Netflix show about it. Out of mix. I haven't watched it, but a lot of
Oh,
people like it. I guess.
oh. That
Pretty
sounds
cool.
like yeah, that sounds
Um.
pretty relaxing.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah, it's just there's like, so we usually the whole family comes. So there's like around 40 people. We
Ooh.
rent like four houses,
Oh, that's
and
so much fun.
there's like a pool, and then yeah, the houses are here, and then right here there's like a sand dune, and then right over the sand dune on the other side is the beach,
Ah,
and it's like 2 minutes, not no, like 30 seconds walking from the closest house. So it's but the only bad thing is you need to wear like shoes or never stop running, or else your feet will just burn off into the sand. It's pretty terrible because we go in like July, so it's scorching. But an interesting thing about North Carolina, like a lot of places in America, like down there, it rains just about every single day for
wow.
like about an hour, maybe. Yeah, like without fail, almost. Like I remember there was one week we got lucky. We go for a week, and 3 out of the 4 days it didn't rain, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, that's crazy! It didn't
Then the
rain."
next
But
day,
it only rains like shit.
oh.
Yeah, the next day it's just like, "Oh, back at it." But it's so nice. It's a very nice place to visit.
So like, do you
Um,
think, when so
yeah.
right now, are you still in high school or are you like in college or I can't quite tell.
Can you guess my age?
I'd guess 17.
Ouch. That one hurts.
What are you? What are you?
No, I'm 20. 20.
20? 20? Okay. Dude,
20.
I have no idea how I
Yeah,
mean, can you guess how old I am?
25.
29.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Damn.
mean, like,
All right.
like age is like so,
Yeah.
so out of
Tough.
there. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
only a number.
Well, I did used to have a much bigger beard. My girlfriend made me shave it though, so here I am. Got to clean it up a little bit. It was kind of bad. Though. It was kind of bad. It was like down here, but like here it was like down to like here. So I look Middle Eastern, but I'm not Middle Eastern. Like people used to, like it's so messed up. Like it's bad, and like I hate racist people. Like obviously, like who doesn't? But like people would call me like I play a lot of basketball, and people would be like, "Who's this fucking terrorist shooting?" And I'd be like, how insensitive are you to be saying something like that? And first of all, the climate of the country. Second of all, like the whole Black Lives Matter movement, beautiful. Not religious, but thank God for that shit. Like beautiful. It needed to happen, needed to be said. But like, and the person who said that to me was black. So it's like
Really?
for
Yeah.
you to be saying something like that, so ignorant. Like Black Lives Matter to me, yes, it's about Black lives, but it really should be Colored Lives Matter because it's way more than just Black people who are like who face prejudice or like obstacles in their life. It's up to everybody to be mindful of that and saying something like "Who's this terrorist shooting?" When first of all, I'm not Middle Eastern, so I wasn't personally offended, but like objectively, I was offended. I'm
Of course. Yeah, of
like,
course.
it's just so messed up to say. Like, I don't know why race has to be such a prevalent topic, like in little things, like especially if it's like if it was like more of a lighthearted thing, but like that's just like plain out, just like racist and like
Well, it's a power
I don't
thing,
know. And
like I think people do that because,
yeah,
if people are alone, like if he were alone, I highly doubt I would doubt that he would say something like that, but I bet you he was surrounded by people he knew
yeah,
and he wanted to assert himself as kind
yeah,
of the guy who can say shit and what are you going to fucking do about it kind of thing, and
yep,
unfortunately,
yep.
we need to that I think that that's actually something that education should really try to address is like that is
Oh
actually
yeah, for
peer
sure.
pressure.
Yeah, because these people like they grow up in like shitty school districts, to put it like for lack of a better term, shitty school districts. Like they learn like the social aspect becomes more prevalent in their lives than academics, and I think that that's not even just in bad school systems. I think that's a culture shift. Like social media and social like activities should be taught in school because it's like y equals mx plus b is something I'm gonna forget in the next 5 years, and I'm 3 years out of high school, and I'm going to remember social skills, like you like because that's something I'm gonna have to deal with my
Every
entire
day,
life unless there's a
exactly.
mass extinct event, like and people just stop existing. But like if we can change how people interact with each other through education for the better, why aren't we? Why is that not talked about? I
Completely
just
agree with you. Completely agree with you.
it like we're teaching all the wrong things. Like I learned what like I learned how to do my taxes in a math class that isn't required. Like it's not a standard math class. Like it's an elective. Like I picked an elective and I learned how to do my taxes, learned how to start a mortgage. I learned valuable things that aren't taught in curriculum that
Yeah, that should be part of the
should be.
curriculum.
Like
Yeah,
every
absolutely.
every person who goes to public school should learn how to do taxes. And if you don't learn how to do taxes, you shouldn't be like you shouldn't be charged for like tax fraud or like tax evasion or like stuff like that, like not filing your taxes, if you get penalized for that and you never learn how to do your taxes, so many people are growing up without fathers or mothers, like, who aren't there to teach them this shit, and they probably didn't even learn it. Like, it's such a flawed system, and it's really like, now that I'm 20 years old and I'm like, I obviously don't have shit figured out. I'm still very naive and have much to learn, but like, I'm starting to put pieces together and realize like, it's really it's heavily favoring the people already at the top.
Absolutely.
Like,
You couldn't have said it any better, man. You're so
things just
articulate and so on. Yeah, you're so right on it, you know? Yeah.
thank you, thank
Yeah,
you.
so
It's
I kind of
it's just been on my mind
I'm,
for
I'm, I'm interested, kind of getting back to this ethnicity thing. Like, what is your ethnicity?
okay, so my mom's side is Sicilian, Italian, basically, English, German, and Irish. So that's my mom's side, strictly European, nothing else. My dad's side, I'm not 100% sure, but I know of three. I am not sure the fraction, but I'm partly Cherokee Indian, Native American, Puerto Rican, and mainly Jamaican.
Wow, what you
So
you are a true
kind of,
mudblood, huh? Yeah.
yes, I'm a mutt for sure. Yeah. And when people ask me that, I never just, I'll either like say I'm just a mutt, or like, I never claim just one. Like, I'll never just say I'm Italian or
Yeah.
black or Puerto Rican. I like to keep it kind of, keep you on your toes a little bit, keep you guessing. And like in this situation, like we're having a conversation, like if it's in conversation, like we're talking about it, then I'll go into depth like I did. But other than
Yeah.
that, I just kind of say I'm a mutt
No.
because, but I am pretty interested in an ancestry test because I do want to know for certain. There's also a lot of valuable information you get. Well, I guess I'm not sure how valuable it is anymore, but valuable information from that stuff. There's a lot of cool things. Like my grandpa always says, like, I had a relative on the Mayflower. I don't know how true that is, but it'd be kind of cool. And that would give me a little insight to that to see if it was true.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm
Uh-huh.
not sure. What about you? I
Yeah.
could see English maybe,
Yeah.
German probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I am also a mudblood. I am on my mom's side. I'm Scottish, English, and German. And on my dad's
Okay.
side, I'm Czech,
Spanish maybe.
Ukrainian, no
Oh,
Spanish. Yeah,
okay.
Czech, Polish, and Ukrainian. So I'm like Eastern
Okay.
European and then kind of like England area, England, Germany. So I'm like all
Yeah.
over the place. Yeah,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
kind of cool. You know,
Cool.
I
So
don't
like,
really ever think about it. You know.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really have any value in today's society unless you're like full white. It kind of like tips the scales a little bit for you. And honestly, this is kind of a far-fetched claim here, but like, if you think about it, racism and war are probably, you're not prepared for what I'm about to say. Racism and war are, in my eyes, the two top contributing factors to why aliens don't talk to us. Like,
That's really an interesting thought. Yeah.
if you're an advanced alien civilization and you are observing some, let's not say humans, let's say some random aliens on planet X way out in the deep solar system. Um, and there's one species that's dominant from all the rest of them, and some of them have two horns, some of them have one horn, and some of them have no horns. and it is clear that the people with no horns are at the bottom, and the one with one horn is in the middle, two horns top of the food chain, celebrities, like royalty status, stuff like that. Like if it's clear cut like that, and like you see a conflict between that, and you see that an entire species that's supposed to be intelligent and wants to make contact with other civilizations that they think are either more advanced or at the same level as them, and they can't even be on the same page with each other. Why would another species be on the same page with us? Why would they why would they put themselves in a partnership where there's a hierarchy of like such a minute detail, like for the color of your skin? The color of your skin. That's why you guys don't get along, is the color of your skin? How many horns you have on your head? Are you serious? Like, no, we're not gonna talk to you. Why would we talk to you? Why would we help you? Why would we help advance you in putting these other people down that are your same species? Like, no, no. And also, you go onto that other planet and you see the two horned people fighting the one-horned people in a gruesome war where you're dropping bombs on each other, killing each other left and right and left and right. What's to say once you give them technology, they won't just try and do the same to you because they think they're better? I don't think they see us as a threat. I think they see us as primitive.
Yeah, well
Because
said, dude. Wow. Great stuff.
because because once you scientists have already confirmed it. In the near future, probably, I think the estimates are about 200 years, there's going to be like almost no white people left. And it's all going to be like the melting pot will take its form. And there's going to be like people are going to look like me. They're going to have tan skin, Eurocentric features, and brown hair. And other than that, if you don't look like that, you're going to be exotic. So once that does happen and we reach our almost final form, that's when we'll finally start to get the gears turning and like unify like a Pangea in a sense of like togetherness, not like geographically, but like
Right, right. We'll all be on the
like
same page in terms of
culturally, it's
racism. Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be a cultural Pangea, and it's then I think by that time, um, religion will probably be laughable history. I'm not sure how religious you are, but like I'm scientific. I'm not or like and spiritual, but like
Well, yeah,
religion. For all I know, religion just could be science we don't understand yet,
yeah,
or something like
I
that.
think
I don't know,
for me
but
like I think for me like religion, right? I think there are parts of religion that will start to come out as being what really is the core meaning of what religion was kind of supposed to be, which is a community of people wanting to do the best that they can for each other, right? That community,
for
the
each other, for the
the
good.
idea of the sacred, right? Um,
Yep.
I think I think those things will start to come to the forefront, and religion will be about that. Will really, and then
But what's meant to be,
oh, sorry.
it'll be what religion was originally meant to be.
Right, right. And instead of now where like doctrine and like, oh, if you're this religion you have to believe that gay marriage is wrong. You have to not believe in that contraception is like a good thing. Like all these kind
Yeah,
of doctrine things are going to go out the window.
yeah,
Um in I mean this will be in like, maybe 100 years.
years. Yeah,
Yeah. But
unfortunately, not in our lifetime.
yeah, I mean, but I think you're right. I think slowly we're moving towards that kind of a space. I think that's
Yeah,
right.
it's fascinating because if you look at like all the religions that like don't like each other, like if you even the main three, look at the main three religions on the planet, which is Christianity, Judaism, and
Islam.
Islam.
Or
Yeah.
well, Hinduism. I mean, talking about like numbers. I mean, Hinduism and Buddhism are up there too.
Okay. Yeah. But those three in particular, like, are the same religion. They're different, three sides of the same coin, if you will. Like,
Yeah.
it's this, like, they're all portraying the same message with minor details changed and minor stories changed. Or sometimes the same fucking story with different names, for God's sakes. Like Moses is Muhammad. Like, they're the same people, or not Moses. Yeah, Moses, right? He was the one with the commandments, right? I
Yes.
think.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they're the same person with different names, and they originated from the same place. Like, what? Why are you fighting? What? Why? Like, if those three religions combined to make one, it would be they wouldn't change much. Like, it wouldn't they wouldn't have to really give up anything, and it would just I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. I'm just like kind of spitballing, but like
Yeah.
it I just don't understand the divide. Like, that's the one main reason, like, it's hindered like it's hindered like scientific advances, is like the divide. Like, why do we feel the need to like separate and divide ourselves in subsections when ultimately, if you really think about it and break it down and mature, you would realize you're all practicing the same thing and you all have the same morals, you all have similar values. It's just get over it. Like, you're holding people back. And like, religion to me is like, this is obviously a lot of people are gonna probably take offense to this. It's one of the biggest scams the world's ever seen. Like, you go to the temple or church or mosque every Sunday, Saturday, Monday, whatever it is, and you donate money, donate time, most importantly, and you follow the same ideology that all the people in that same place go, and you're just like, it's a waste of time. Like, you can practice all those things without somebody shoving them down your throat every Sunday. You can practice being a good person and never pray once in your entire life. There's people who haven't prayed in their entire lives and are 100% better people than people who go to church every Sunday. Like, it's just a label that makes you feel fulfilled or righteous.
I just have to ask, did you grow up religious at all?
I did. I did. I grew up, my mom married, um, so my stepfather was huge, huge, Christian, and I have one. It was probably from the time I was in second grade up until I was in, I want to say, fifth grade. Didn't last long for many reasons. I won't get into all of them, but he was a major, major Christian, and I went to church every year for about 3 years. And I remember one year. Well,
Every
first of
year
all,
or every week?
every week, every
Every
week.
week.
Um, every year, um, my belief like started to like die out because like you grow up and you see some shit like, and it makes you think like, if there's a God, why would He allow this to happen? And then people say, well, it's His plan. God's never wrong. It's His plan. Things will go well. Look at the climate of the earth. If He loved all of us, why would He be doing this to us? Why would He make climate change? Why would He put Donald Trump in office? I don't want to make it political, but like, just throwing it in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Why would He allow rapists to walk free? Why would He let Sandy Hook happen? Why would God's plan allow 23 innocent kindergartners and first graders to die? Which, by the way, is 20 minutes from my home at the time. I just, it's, I don't understand. What? Okay, I'm getting off track. One time, I remember we we were a member of a mega church. Do you know what a mega church is?
Yes, yeah. How would you define it? Like a church with like 30,000 people?
It's uh it's a glorified mall with religious practices going on. Is how I would describe it. Um, so we were a member of those, and we were poor, like, and could not afford to be a member of this church. I don't know, like, he worked at Walmart, and my mom wasn't like she didn't have any like career that was like winning bread, so to speak. Um, so we were poor, and we had no business being in that church. And one day, we just plain and simple couldn't afford it anymore. Payment plan wasn't working out, so we had to drop it for the better, I'm guessing. And we were trying out new churches every week and going to this church, going to that church. And one day, my mom was sick. She wasn't going to church. And there was a church right down the street from us. And we walked to it and we caught the service. And at the end, there was like a little banquet. And we had, remember, all I remember is eating a brownie, but that's not an important detail. Um, I remember talking to this very nice lady, and she was asking me how school was going, yada yada this, yada yada that. And I remember being grabbed by my ear and pulled out of the church, like just straight up pulled out by my stepfather. And without saying a word, we were halfway down the street, and I finally asked, I'm like, "What's happening? Why aren't we going to that church? Those people were really nice. Why this? Why that?" And he's like, he stopped me, grabbed me by my shoulders, looked me into my eyes, and straight up said to me, "You will never go to that church. This church accepts homosexuals, and we will never accept that. That is wrong, and it's the devil's work." Now, if you read the Bible, it says God loves all his creatures. If God made them, why are they evil? And yes, people say it's the devil's work. The devil did it. The devil made the gay people, not God. That's just an excuse for like okay, so homosexuality would be fully accepted by now in society if religion was never a thing. The only reason homosexuality is looked down upon is because religion told you it was wrong. And these things got passed down generation, generation, generation to where people who aren't in religion anymore, who don't practice, still have those ideas of like homosexuality is bad, it's the devil's work. And they don't even know why it's bad. They can't tell you why it's bad. They can tell you it's not natural or it's not for reproduction. But tell me this, how many times have you had sex for the purpose of reproduction? How many times? Like, I'd say
Yeah.
one people do it probably like average people do it once or twice in their lifetime to have sex with the idea going into
With
it
the
to
intention of having it. Yeah. With the intention of reproduction. Right.
reproduce. So it just struck me wrong. After that day, I never once prayed again.
Wow.
Never once prayed because I didn't know. I was so naive. I didn't even know that it was wrong, so to speak, to be homosexual or gay. Like it just how can a religion or any group of people fueled by supposed love and divinity be so twisted and cruel to one specific people for the fact of like who you love and who you're sexually attracted to. It's just I don't understand how someone can support something like that if you really do preach love and equality. It's
Well said. Well said, C. Yeah, man. Dude, you got it going on. You got it
that,
going on. Yeah. Yeah. It's
yeah.
really awesome talking to you. You know, I could sit and chat with you for a while. I think we've already been going for like 45 minutes. Time has
Okay, well,
flown. Um,
yeah.
or maybe even longer. I didn't even look what time. But before I always kind of come up with a bunch of these kind of random questions. We
Okay,
really only have time for one. So if you could
okay.
choose a number between 1 and 45, I'll ask you that question.
Can I pick two
Sure.
or one?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do two.
I'm gonna pick number 8 because that's my favorite number, and it also is infinity, kinda, if you turn it on its side, so it's every number. And then for pop culture references, I'm gonna go with number 42. I don't
Okay.
know if I don't know if you've ever read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but that's one of my favorite books, and it is 42 is the key to the universe. It's the most important number. No one knows why, but it is.
All right. Well, let's get to these questions. Let's see what it holds for you.
Okay,
Okay, number 8. What was the moment when you felt most alive?
good question. Moments I felt most alive. So I was at a party. This is You've seen the mature side of me where I can talk, but there is a immature side of me. When I was in high school, I was at a New Year's party, and like a lot of parties in high school, cops got involved and it was busted. And one of my friends answered the door to the cops, and he was piss drunk, drunker than I've ever seen. And we didn't know at the time, but the cops had surrounded the house, and he was like, "Where's the owner? Where's the owner? We're shutting this down." So he runs out the back door, and I follow him, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. I cannot get involved with cops. So I ran with him, goes out the back door, and there's three cops out back. My friend, not going to name him, let's call him Jeff. Jeff lowers his shoulder like a linebacker and just trucks one of the cops,
No
lays
way.
lays him out. And then I see the other cops just standing there. They look at each other and they like put their hands towards their tasers, and I just ran. That's the most alive I've ever felt in my entire life. Yeah,
That's a good story.
yeah, yeah. It was scary. It was scary, but I wasn't even too drunk. I was just like a little tipsy, but like that got the adrenaline pumping for sure. I'll
Wow.
say that much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, that's something that you'll never forget. Wow.
yeah,
Good
no.
story. Okay. All right. And number 42.
Okay.
What is your biggest insecurity?
Ooh. Um, if I had to go physical, I'd probably say my teeth because
Mm.
I got some crooked teeth there. But if we're talking like psychologically or like mentally, it's probably I don't know, honestly. I don't think I'm too insecure. I think I'm pretty well-rounded and put together, but physically definitely my teeth. Um, I don't know. Yeah, teeth. I'm gonna have to say it. It's
Okay.
gonna be my teeth. Got a crooked smile here and there, so an
Yeah,
underbite.
dude, don't worry about it. You're very charismatic and articulate, and yeah, it's
Thank
been
you.
it's been really nice to talk to
Yeah,
you.
it's been a good talk. I feel like
You
I'm on
re-
a podcast. I love it.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's what this is. I think it's an unofficial
Yeah,
podcast. I have no idea what this
yeah,
is. You know.
yeah. I would say maybe take it to like Twitch or something, but then again, live feeds could be a little problematic sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I really like this kind of medium because it allows for us to see you. Like so. I think so much of human connection is actually seeing each other face to face.
yeah, visual, right,
And like people when people see a person, they have a preconceived notion of who they are,
right,
and like it's really interesting just like learning about you like minute by minute, hearing
right. Not
word by
those bugs
word.
down that you put up and see who the person really is.
So I feel like there's a lot to it that like I really did not expect coming into this whole project, and I'm loving it, and
Yeah. What can I ask a question?
yeah, absolutely.
What made you want to do this?
Ah, there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
My inspiration, my idea to even like come up with this in the first place was I interviewed when my grandma turned 96, 97. I interviewed her because I was thinking, you know what, like she's not going to be around very long, and she
Right.
actually just turned 101 just a few days ago. So
Good for
yeah,
her. Oh my God.
yeah.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
but I interviewed her because I wanted to have that memory of her. I eventually
Right.
was thinking, I wanna interview my other grandma who was turning 90 at the time. I want to
Right.
interview my mom and my dad and everyone that I love. And then I
Yeah.
realized everyone has a story. Everyone
Yeah.
has a book in them, and I think that's selfishly, I just want to like hear people's stories. But then there's
Yeah.
so much else to it. Um, this is a place to kind of talk about things freely, like conservative, liberal. Like this is a
Okay.
place to listen and to understand, um, and so it's also like a somewhat of a critique and an action towards building what I believe social media needs to be if it's going to
Yeah.
be a helpful tool for us. Um,
Right. Yeah. It should be about learning
learning and
or
also empathy, you
getting
know,
something good out of it. Right.
right? Like learning how to actually have a conversation. Um, so there's a lot to it, there's a lot to it, and I'm just very lucky that the thought came to me and that I have enough motivation to do
Yeah.
this, to do this regularly. So,
Right. I'm glad you did.
yeah, thanks, C. I
I was a
appreciate
good guy.
that. Well, before we go, do you have any last kind of words or advice to the audience watching?
Yeah. I'd like to say, I mean, I'm in no position because I am at the bottom myself, but always keep your head up and look for silver linings because there's a lot of them, a lot more than you think. Silver linings. That's the one. And just be a good fucking person. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah,
That's all I can say.
there's so much hatred in this world, right? Like,
Just be like walk in someone else's shoes once a day, maybe. Like that's what I try and do. I try and like think like really put myself in someone's position. Like it's very hard and it's a tough practice, but you can start to like really feel like high forms of empathy if you really like care enough and really try to. And think about how it is to be someone else for a day and think about how much easier your life is than theirs or even think about how much easier someone else's life is and try and like think about that for yourself and what can you do to get there and get somewhere where you can feel comfortable and where you're like where someone would want to be in your shoes. Get there. Get to where someone would want to be in your shoes, whatever by any means necessary.
that's awesome, man. Thank you. Um, cool. So I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna upload the video. It'll be up in like 10 minutes. And
Cool. I subscribed and everything.
thanks, dude. Cool.
I'll be watching.
Awesome, man. Thank you. And yeah, if you ever want to keep in touch, you can comment on my videos. I'm trying to respond to as many people as possible. And
Awesome.
also, I got my email on here too, Building Bridges
Yep, I
505.
copied it, and it's in my clipboard right now. So,
Awesome, man. Cool.
uh,
All right, man. Well, peace and
peace
keep being
out.
cool. See ya.
Thank you.